Lana here from Girl Teach Me, and today I'm going to give you 5 ways to prepare for an awesome new homeschool year. And stay to the end because I'm going to give you a bonus tip to really help you get your mind right for the adventure that is to come. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Lana. Here at Girl Teach Me, I make videos about new motherhood, real food, and just creating a peaceful and beautiful home for the people that you love. The first thing to do to prepare for your new homeschool year is to clean and organize the space that you use to homeschool. So if you use a special room, a little homeschool room, really scrubbing that table, organizing all of the manipulatives and craft supplies that you have. If you use the kitchen table, maybe even giving that a good hard scrub too. I think for some of us, just the glue and the glitter and the markers and all of that can kind of collect on top of the table. So just really getting that space nice and sparkly clean, and also just making sure that you touch every single thing that you use for homeschool before the beginning of the year, getting rid of anything that doesn't serve your family anymore, and just to put your hands on it so that you can just know off the top of your head, hey, I'm putting together this lesson, I have this and this manipulative, or I'm doing an ocean unit and I have these seashells and these little sea creatures, things like that, to just put it together and whip up a lesson. And it's just really hard if you haven't put your hands on everything in a year or even 2 or plus years. It can be really hard to remember exactly what you have. And I think that's where we get into buying multiples of things, multiples of books, multiples of craft supplies, and things like that that we just accumulate that we really don't need. So as arduous as the task is, I really think it's helpful to just take a day or 2 or even a week and just go through everything. I would say not to buy a single thing, not even curriculum, until you go through this, because there is probably curriculum that you can reuse or repurpose. Like maybe you're doing a unit study on early America and you didn't realize you had all those books. So it's really going to save you a ton of money to just put your hands on everything and think about how you can repurpose it. And as you are going through everything, then make your list for the things that you need. If you notice you're totally out of color pencils, you're totally out of craft paper, printer paper, things like that, be making your list as you are cleaning everything up. The second thing I would say is to get together with your husband and really dream about your homeschool year. We like to try to get a babysitter and take a whole day to do this, even a little getaway if you can. I know there's not much time before school starts, so maybe just even getting to a coffee shop for a couple of hours is really going to be worth your time. It reminds me of that quote by Abraham Lincoln that said that if I had to chop down a tree, I would spend most of the time sharpening my axe. And that's really what we're doing, is taking the time to sharpen the axe before you set about on your homeschool year. So making some goals for each kid. So when Matt and I go away, we like to talk about each kid. It's funny how when you're parenting, you're just parenting. You're not really getting to sit down and talk about the heart and the character of each kid. So just talking about each kid specifically and what you would love for them to learn and grow in for the year, and just talking about their heart. Like, what heart issue have you seen come up over and over and over again for a kid? Because so much of homeschool is training the heart, is training the character. That's why we're spending all this time with our kids. And so hoping to see them know and love Jesus ultimately, but those character issues, like maybe you have one kid that just will not complete a chore, or you have one kid that constantly whines when you ask them to do something, like starting to address those heart issues and talking about together as a team how you can do that, because homeschool isn't just when you are sitting down and doing curriculum. It is all throughout the day. Everything is learning. The third thing I think you should do is research and order curriculum. I will also link down below the things that I have used and enjoyed and the things I've heard really good things about. I can't use it all, and I know that it's not just because I chose one curriculum doesn't mean the rest of them are terrible. It's just that I have just so much money, and so I'm going to go with what works for my family, and that's my encouragement to you. If you have a newborn, that's a huge consideration. If you're not sleeping through the night, huge consideration. Like, you might need some open and go curriculum. You may not have time to plan these super elaborate lessons. But when your kids are a little bit older and you're sleeping more and you're amped up about that, maybe that is the season to have some curriculum that takes a little bit more preparation. So you're not a failure if you choose open and go or elaborate lessons. It's all about their heart anyway, so just be true to what your season is when you're choosing curriculum. My fourth tip is find a way to record the days. This can look different for everybody, but just having a way to, one, keep attendance if you want to do that, but two, just making some notes about the progress that you see, maybe the wins you see, the little nudges you've seen from the Lord where He's working on your kid's heart, the books you read, just keeping a couple of notes, just getting in the practice 5 minutes a day of just writing in your planner the things that you did that day. It's really going to encourage you when you feel like you didn't accomplish a lot, because when you sit down, undoubtedly you did do a lot with your kids. I know for me today, we made little protein bites and I was explaining all the fractions to them, explaining what 1/3 versus 2/3 a cup of honey, things like that. That is all school. And so just all of that is really an encouragement to me. Okay, the fifth tip is just to decide what your school days are going to be. If you're going to be doing a co-op, that's going to be a busier day. What day are you getting groceries? And what days are you just going to try to stay home and do as much school as possible? Just mapping out those days. Okay, so my sixth bonus tip is that, like I said, you are trying to do something really powerful for your family. And so one thing I would encourage you is to not be surprised when things get messy. Don't be surprised when things don't work. Like 6 out of 10 times, the ideal day is not going to work. But that doesn't mean that you are wrong for shooting for that ideal. Keep shooting for it and ask the Lord to help you, because those 4 days out of 10 that do work out and are really beautiful are going to be so worth it to fight through those 6 days that are really hard. And you know, we are living in a fallen world, and so we're going to be dealing with lots of sin at home, our heart issues, our kids' heart issues. Don't grow weary in doing good. That is why you're homeschooling, is so that you can be there for those heart moments. And so I just want to put courage in you that while it is hard, it's good work, and just to keep going.